Facing You was the first album for ECM, a label founded in Germany by Manfred Eicher. It showcased Jarrett's strengths as a solo performer. It was quite a different turn, and you could say that he found a home in ECM Records. This is a great collection, and it shows his sporadic form and tunecraft. Ruta Andieta is a duo album with Keith playing piano, percussion, and Jacques DeJohnette on drums. This was recorded while they were both playing in Miles Davis' electric group. There's some interesting things here, and it is a pretty unusual album. Solo concerts: Bremen, Lausanne. These are legendary concerts from 1973, and it was the beginning of the long-form solo improvisations that Jarrett became widely known for by the late 70s. There's some beautiful music here, and it's an essential album for anybody into the art of improvisation on the piano. In the Light. This is a pretty ambitious project. It's definitely not jazz, like a lot of his ECM stuff in the 70s. This has got some brass arrangements. There's also strings. There's some solo piano pieces. It's pretty dense music, and it's advisable to just listen to it piecemeal rather than try to take it all in at once. Belonging. This is the first studio recording with his famous European quartet. That is Jan Gabarek saxophone, Palle Danielson on bass, John Christensen on drums. This is a great album. It's got some fantastic playing on it. The band are on fire. Yeah, it's a milestone jazz album from the time, and it's essential for any fans. Luminescence, music for string, orchestra and saxophone. The saxophone improvisations are by Jan Gabarek. Keith Jarrett scored the whole thing, the orchestra, the whole shebang. Jarrett does not play on this album, must be said, and music is kind of scattered and sparse, and it's challenging. The Köln concert. This is possibly the most famous solo piano album of all time, and definitely one of Jarrett's biggest. This is from Köln in Germany, 1975, and it is a fantastic album for anybody who's remotely interested in piano. It's all improvised. He had a bad piano and a bad back, and the whole thing came together amazingly. Arborzena. This again is another orchestral offering. Here we have Jan Gabarek on saxophone, Charlie Hayden on bass, and Jarrett himself on piano. There's some nice things here. Sometimes it gets a little long-winded, but again the production is fantastic, and it's worth a listen from time to time. The Survivor Suite. This is Keith Jarrett at his very, very highest peak in the mid-70s with his American quartet. Charlie Hayden bass, Paul Motion drums, Dewey Redman saxophone. This is a fantastic album and essential listening for anybody who's just into good music, full stop. One of my favourite Keith Jarrett albums of all time. Possibly my favourite. Hymns, Fears. This one is recorded in Ottoburen Abbey on a Baroque organ, one of the biggest in the world. They're improvised pieces. It's pretty heavy going. It's not for everybody, and it's certainly not jazz. This one was released in 1985 also as a single CD edited, but this is the full shtick. Staircase. This is a studio album. The pieces were possibly improvised. Sounds quite good. Some of the pieces are a little bit long-winded though. It's broken up into 4 pieces: Staircase, Hourglass, Sundial, Sand. It's probably the opposite to the Köln concert in the fact that it's a little bit more composed. Yeah, but still, nice album. Sun Bear concerts. This is a collection of concerts recorded in Japan in late 1976. It's a big box set. It was an original release with 10 vinyl LPs. This is the compact disc version, and it has 6 compact discs and a nice booklet and a hard card box. This is one of the discs. They all look the same. There's some beautiful parts played here, and there's also some sporadic parts which are insane. My Song, another studio offering from the European Quartet, Jan Garbarek, Pal Danielson, John Christensen. Great compositions by Jarrett. Some of his most memorable. For the time, it's really nice, and it's got a soft feel to it, but there's plenty meat and drink in there with some pretty good ensemble playing by these legendary players. Yeah, good. This is Eyes of the Heart. It was recorded in 76 but released in 79. It's the swan song, more or less, from the American quartet. Pretty percussive. Jarrett is also playing soprano saxophone. There's a lot of ostinatos going on and a lot of kind of meandering and stuff. It's interesting and pretty good, but you know, he's got much better stuff than this. New Dance, which is a kind of a pun on new dance. This is recorded in the Village Vanguard, New York, with the European Quartet in 1979. Some long pieces on this, but it's pretty good. Also, it has been recorded, I think, on a 2-track, so the sound quality is below the usual power that you'd expect from ECM.